This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, February 27th, 2023. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. As Mexican cartels convert precursor chemicals into synthetic opioids and mix them with other drugs. Tom Howe reports fentanyl made in clandestine labs has proved highly deadly and is increasingly found in drugs other than heroin, including cocaine and fake prescription pills. Money has driven the increase in fentanyl-laced drugs. Synthetic opioids like fentanyl are cheaper to produce and easier to smuggle, according to a former acting director of the White House Office of Drug Control Policy. AmeriCorps, the federal agency for volunteering and service, reported last month the first ever U.S. decline in formal volunteering with organizations from 2020 to 2021. Dave Boyer reports participation dipped from 25.3% in 2018 to 23% during the pandemic. Newly inaugurated Maryland Governor Wes Moore wants to reverse that trend by paying young people to work 1 year of service after high school. If approved by the Maryland legislature, the plan would essentially have the state fund job placements for recent high school graduates at $15 per hour at nonprofits, private firms, unions, churches, and other organizations. The state would also pay a bonus of up to $3,000 to those who complete the year of paid service. The governor has budgeted $18 million this year for the program and has created a cabinet agency to administer it. The widespread destruction in Ukraine brought on by the Russian invasion and seizure of private property are now the focus of legal efforts in the international court. Ukrainian oligarch Rinat Akhmatov, whose holdings include the Azovstal iron and steelworks plant, is pressing a lawsuit against Russia at the European Court of Human Rights. Akhmatov says he's been out $18 billion since the war started and wants his money back. His move is seen as an effort to use Ukraine's economic and financial levers against Russia. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. An inspector general has found the Department of Homeland Security medical personnel mismanaged the care for a Bahamian man in custody, mistreating a gastrointestinal problem that eventually cost him his life. Stephen Dinan reports Jesse Dean died in early 2021 after complaining for weeks about pain to the staff at a detention facility in Battle Creek, Michigan. He was in custody for 5 weeks, constantly complaining of stomach pain. He was treated, but none of the medications worked, and he began losing consciousness and suffering unexplained falls. The inspector general said the medical staff should have been more proactive in treating him, as he exhibited major weight loss, hypertension, and falls. A sexual harassment lawsuit against CPAC chairman Matt Schlapp is still unresolved as the group's annual conference begins this week. Susan Faricia reports the unidentified accuser, a man, is suing Schlapp for making unwelcome sexual overtures. The accuser claims Schlapp made unwelcome advances during a car ride in Macon, Georgia, where Schlapp was attending campaign events for former Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker. Schlapp denies the claims. The conference, like past events, will showcase the emerging Republican presidential primary field and returns to the Washington area after 2 years in Florida due to COVID-19 restrictions. And finally, Bill Gertz talks with Mike Pompeo to review the former Secretary of State's recently released memoir, Never Give an Inch. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.